As a Fleet maintained app catalog maintainer, I want to override a query for the patch policy outside of Fleet release, so I can fix a query if it's broken and have it available for Fleet instances immediately. This takes the existing patch policy behavior that we added in 4.83 and pulls it into the manifest files that we've had since last year on Fleet Maintained Apps v2. The big draw of this is there are cases across our app library where we need to make minor tweaks to some of these installation queries to make sure that they don't false positive or false negative, particularly on the Windows side. And rather than trying to get that information into the Fleet server and potentially wait a release and QA cycles, etc., to have that land, we can just push manifest updates and move that intelligence to the repository and ingestion functionality of Winget or Homebrew that we have there. We already had this for installation queries, but the patch queries are new to this. As a decent example here, we have the Adobe Reader manifest. This exists query has existed for a while, and then this patch query is new. So you'll note here this publisher bit. We actually don't have that information broadcast back to the Fleet server, so we have a little bit less precise policies right now for these, and not really an easy way to get that information to the server. But through the power of looking at the Winget manifest and then being able to build the queries directly as part of that manifest generation process, we can do things like this at the publisher and basically build this query on top of this one. That's going to come in even more handy as there's some cleanup we're doing around software that includes the version number in the reported name that OS query picks up, so that we can make sure that we're correctly detecting when something is installed and is in need of an update. There's some follow-on PRs there. This also kind of 2020 hindsight, leading up to 483, there were a number of cases where we had to kind of last minute tweak our queries that were baked into Fleet server. And fortunately, we found those before release, but this allows us to respond a lot more quickly to cases where something either across the board or on a specific app wasn't quite right. And that is all I've got for that one. Back to you, George.